is Gary Story from Puryear, Tennessee. I'm a co-owner of Story Farms, and that is our primary business. We grow white corn, some yellow corn, wheat, soybeans, tobacco, and we have cattle. Cropland, roughly 22, unless we're double cropping wheat, we'd have about 2,500 acres, and that changes. All the acres will be sprayed twice, quite a few of them the third time, so you're looking at 7,000, 7,500 acres per year in a normal year when we have a good growing season. In our area, as well as most others probably, we have some rolling farms, and we no-till predominantly to keep our soils intact and for the erosion problems. And also, it seems to conserve moisture as in a dry year. I think the no-till will definitely conserve the moisture. Starting out 20 years ago probably, we had a tractor with a hydraulic boom on it and packed about 300 gallons of water. Done that for a few years, and then we started having some custom sprayed, and then I actually built a sprayer to pull behind a four-wheeler with about a 30-foot boom, and that worked nicely, except for I didn't like staying in the chemicals and breathing the overspray. And then I run a Melrose spray coop for probably 6 or 7 years. Liked the machine. It done a good job for me. I wanted to be able to move up a notch in the size of sprayers and something with a larger tank and a little more boom width. We really couldn't afford to step up to a $200,000 sprayer. We don't have the acres to justify it. I would have had to done custom spraying, and there's not enough hours in my day to do custom spraying. So I think the affordability and the ability to do what the John Deere will do. Well, I had been thinking about trading for a year or so, and our machine was still doing a good job, and I just didn't want to wear it down to the point that it had no resale. And really and truly, I think the Apache for a private applicator, it's more affordable. Like the size of it, it just fit my needs. My nephew, Jared Barker, and he has owned one or two and seemed well pleased. And I also have several other neighbors that have them, and they all seem well pleased also. I like the looks of the machine. I like the style. I like the size of the tank, and I thought it was affordable for a private applicator to own this type of machine. I didn't have anything against the Melrose. Like I said, it was a good machine, a little weak on power. Just wanted to try something different, and just kind of a whim. Brandon came by one day and had a good deal, and we traded, and Brandon gave me some pointers, and I kind of self-taught myself how to run it. And being I had run sprayers for 6 or 7 years, I felt fairly comfortable with the mechanism of the way the sprayer operates. And if anything, the precision was the hardest for me to adapt to, because I'd never used that type of thing, but just took a few times of pushing the buttons to figure out what I was doing. Our largest field is probably 175 acres, all the way down to fields 1.5 acres to 2 acres. I do travel a lot in a day's time. Farthest that I would have to go from headquarters would be about 10 miles, but at the same time, that 10 miles I could have something that would be 5 miles the other side of the shop. So the efficiency of getting back and forth, I can be there and be spraying long before I could have in the past, from towing the machine. And the road speed is as fast as I want to go with that type of equipment anyway. So every field is different, every size, shape, form, and fashion that you can imagine. So power lines, power poles, houses in the middle of the fields, and grain bins and what have you. Power-wise, it's wonderful. It has all the power you need when you get down in a low spot and having to climb up a hill. I'm impressed with that. Pretty much typical with anything. You're going to have some damage, of course, where you turn on the ends, and if you take a field that lays nice and square, you'll have a lot less damage. If you take one that has dog legs and offsets, you're going to have a little bit more, but that's just part of adapting, and 30-inch rows are easier. Of course, we plant a lot of 15-inch rows, and in my opinion, I'll probably be on and off 50% of the time on 15-inch rows, or in a good straight row, I can stay off possibly 75% of the time. Definitely with the precision and with the AccuBoom, I've seen a big savings. Like I said earlier, we have lots of odd-shaped fields, point rows, offsets, and the peace of mind of driving into those areas and watching the booms turn off and on automatically and accurately is definitely a huge savings. And the precision also, generally you're looking at probably, without some of that stuff, at least a 6% overlap or overspray, and as high as a 15% in an odd-shaped field. And with the precision and the auto boom or the AccuBoom, I feel like I've cut that way less than 6. Some fields probably, to 1 or 2. So I feel like that's been a real savings, and I get over the exact acres I want to. I feel like it's putting the product down like I want it to. If it's costing you $20 an acre, you spray a 100-acre field and you're 10% off, it's pretty easy to figure, as far as a savings in a day. And most of my fields, I know the acreage that's there, and it's interesting to see when you finish what you actually spray out. And with this machine, it sprays out really close to the acreage that actually is in the field. Plus with the radar, when you perimeter a field, it's like a GPS, you know exactly how much is there, and then when you're finished, it tells you actually how much you have put out. You're always going to have a little bit of overage, but I've narrowed that down drastically. I like the ride. I like the ease of getting in and out of the cab. It's got a really good ride. I've spent some pretty long days in it, and I'm not as young as I once was, but yeah, I like the ride. I've driven lots of different types of tractors and some sprayers and combines, and I would say the visibility is probably the best of any machine that I've operated on the farm. I think it's an efficient machine to run. I do think that spraying your own crops is a benefit. I can save the custom spray and applicator cost. I think I can more precisely put my chemicals down, and I think that I'm a believer that I need a sprayer myself, and saving some money on chemicals. I can shop around. I can buy over the internet. I can buy off season. I can pre-buy chemicals in the off season and have them sitting there when I'm ready. And like I said, if the drought's on and I need to wait for a rain, I can afford to wait for a rain. Or if the floods are on and I've got a 3-day window, it's just a lot more efficient to get it done when I need it done. And a lot of our spraying, we plant and then spray right behind the planter, and I don't like to get behind doing that. And having my own sprayer allows me to catch back up rather quick. First and foremost, I've always said probably the most important piece of farm machinery is your planter. Secondly, probably a harvester, but I would probably put the sprayer and the harvester at a close second now, and I think it's something that being used to owning my own machine and spraying at my convenience and when the conditions were right. If it's too windy, I don't spray. If it's too wet, I don't spray, and I can pick the days that are more favorable for my crop and for myself owning my own sprayer. And as long as I can operate one, I don't want to don't want to do without my own sprayer. I don't want to go back to having it custom applicated. I did have a neighbor or two that asked about it, and I think actually one purchased one. I told them my experiences, the ease of adaptability. So I really would recommend to anyone, mainly because of I think the affordability to move up to a larger sprayer, and you can definitely spray a lot more in a day's time with ease, and packing more water in the wider boom. It's definitely been an increase in my spraying days.